The calendar of the path may at first appear confusing, yet it serves a greater purpose. It is not meant to replace the Julian calendar, but supplement it, to help us keep the lessons of the path in the forefront of our mind. Each day, week, month, and cycle teaches us a lesson. To start, we look at the days, revealed to us in simple biomes. The path begins in the plains. Plain Morrow. The lesson is, every journey begins somewhere. Settlers set out across the North American continent in search of their own path. And so we begin our journey in this equivalent of the middle of nowhere. Then we enter the forest, Fomorrow. Its lesson, as the journey continues, the path may become more difficult. To get our destination, we must persevere, and so the path may darken. We lose sight of the distance. But there is an end to the forest if we keep going. After the forest, we crest the mountain, Momoro. Its lesson, the most difficult part of the journey is often the middle, as there may be people or things that may not want you to succeed and work to make you fail. We must stay the course to finish. For the faithful, we acknowledge that difficulty is part of life, and that to ignore that is fatal. A fast in honor of this is encouraged for those sufficiently mature and not otherwise ill or emaciated. From the darkest forest to the steepest cliffs, sometimes our journey gets worse before it gets better. After the mountain, the river, Rimaro, appears to assist. Its lesson, once you convince people to work with you instead of against you, that you will not use any of your influence you gain to hurt them, the journey may again become easy, as they will use their influence to help you rather than hinder. Yet one must be careful. If it is truly as easy, all would do it. Keep your head on a swivel and use the river to its maximum effect. Naturally, the river leads to the ocean. Ochmoro's lesson being, the end of one journey. The reward is upon you. But as the path is never-ending, new obstacles will come, and we welcome them. We exist in a continuum. As one journey comes to an end, a new one begins. But that doesn't mean we can't enjoy how much we have accomplished. In fact, it's encouraged. We keep the flywheel going. It's easier next time. These days make up the weeks, revealed to us as precious stone, starting with jade. Jade Gott's lesson is, jade is the color of that for centuries has been associated with envy. For some, it only takes seeing another with a thing is enough for them to want it. If it drives you and you are not stealing or being oppressive, use it. The Jade Empire or China for years was a source of mystery to the world. This is the start of life, mystery and jealousy. You do not know what is out there, but want that knowledge. Next we have sapphire. Sapgott teaches us sapphires are blue, this color associated with tranquility. We are encouraged to accept what we can't change. This is just the start. Knowing you have a problem is the first step to solving it. Moving on, we have the week of amethyst. Amgott's lesson being, amethysts are yellow. This is a color that has been assigned the emotion of fear. This is the fear of the unknown. Even though we are already quite far along, sometimes we do not fear until the implications are fully understood. Fear is natural. It keeps us safe, but we cannot let it run our lives. This leads to the week of Ruby, Rubgott. Its lesson, rubies are red for blood and sacrifice. Few things in life that are worthwhile are cheap. The sacrifice could be time, money, or sweat and tears. For all we do, we must decide what is truly important to us. Figure out what we need to accomplish this goal. Then we have to really decide to do it. And finally, we have the week of Diamond, Diagot. Its lesson, diamonds are white for purity, wholly at peace. This is the goal we strive for. Seek knowledge and help others. The good of the many is as important, if not more so, than the good of the individual. At the end of 4 of the 5 weeks, we have the festival days, starting with the Festival of Fire. The lesson, vitality and youth. In the beginning, we have a fire in the spirit, energy to burn. That is why the beginning can be the easiest. Celebrated with lively dancing and physical competition, grilled meats and barbecue is appropriate for the day, for the festivities. The second week ends with the Festival of Earth. The lesson, steadfast and permanent. Once we have a foundation, we can build faster and stronger. We have a greater impact. Celebrated with dance and demonstration, a day of grains and other food from the earth is appropriate. The end of the third week is the Festival of Sky. Its lesson, sustaining and universal. We cannot live without air. The greater heights we achieve, the more we can see and interact, but the air is thinner. Celebrations at concert halls and battles of the bands are appropriate for this day. The food of choice would be poultry or cold cuts and other chilled items. The fourth week culminates in the Festival of Water. The lesson, tranquil and flowing. We have gained knowledge and vision as eternal as water, endlessly recycled and still new, celebrated with intellectual games and competitions, accompanied by soft, calm music. Food from the sea is choice for this festival. The fifth week simply rolls over into the first of the next month. Not everything can and should be celebrated. The months are the most numerous, revealed to us in the form of precious metals, starting with Mercury. Meredith. The lesson, Mercury, as poisonous as it is still an important part of our modern life. In every old version of fluorescent bulbs, a drop of this liquid metal is used. All things have their place. This leads us to gold. Audit. The lesson, gold. Its beauty has been prized for ages, desired for its arbitrary value, and despised for the carnage that desire entails. This precious metal reminds us that good can be bad, and vice versa. Moving on, we have silver. Sildit. The lesson, silver is permanence and beauty. Many things are made with this precious metal to flaunt wealth. Though no wars have been fought for it alone, it is still highly desired. Next, we learn from copper. Codit. The lesson, copper has been a key to power since the Dark Ages. We even use it for actual power now. Permanence is exemplified in this metal. This is followed by aluminum. Aldit. The lesson, lightweight and strong. This metal is found everywhere. This is universality. Now we move on to lead. Leadit. The lesson, lead is strong and heavy. It is also poisonous. Rumored to be used by Romans to sweeten their wine. They faced the consequences. This material reminds us to plan ahead, but even when you do, you may not always understand the consequences. Next, we have tungsten. Tundit. The lesson, tungsten is heat resistant and capable of handling great torsion. This is a powerhouse metal. Use it for crucibles and painless drills. This material tells us that, though our job is important to all, none may sing our praises. Which leads us directly to tin. Tindit. The lesson, tin is used to help prevent rust and make absolutely flat glass. This is a perfect example of assisting when assistance is needed. Beryllium, Berdit, comes next. Its lesson, beryllium, unobtrusive and strong. This metal has the power to hold together planes and the fitness to operate high-tech equipment. Lastly, we have zirconium, Zerdit. The lesson, zirconium is beautiful but brutal, a precious metal, a powerful weapon. This is the dichotomy of the human soul, and shades of gray in between. The cycles are represented by the guardian spirits. First, the lynx, Lenestra. The lesson, the lynx is mostly a loner as we understand it. We learn from this that before we can help others, we have to have mastery of ourselves. Despite what others may think, it all comes down to what we can do and what we can help others accomplish. As we improve ourselves, we can help others achieve, not before. As our understanding of self is mastered, we learn of difference. The dolphin, Dolestra. Its lesson, there are many ways to live and no perfect answers as to how. All things have their place, their particular purpose. Once we accept that others may have a better answer, that ours is just one of many paths, we can move on, and we can improve the world. Once we recognize that difference makes the world a better place, we can accept others. The teachings of the horse. Equestra. The horse is a peaceful creature that thrives in a herd. Docile most of the time, they will defend what is theirs. Civilization is a herd. We all work together for a common purpose. While we need not be complacent to survive our herd, it is advisable to have a strength in numbers. As our group grows, we can accept death. The vulture. Valestra. All things die, but even in death, we have a purpose to serve. What we accomplished in our lives carries on in our wake. The people we influenced carry our memory, and we live on through them. Death is only the beginning. Once we can accept the above, we can truly live. A life reborn. The phoenix. Fenestra teaches us that the end of one journey promotes the beginning of a new one. Like this bird of legends, even the flames cannot best us. Because we live on through our works and our lineage, we will never truly die. Like the Mobius, the process continually repeats itself. It never truly ends. There are two special days, the day of planning and the day of review. The first and last days of the cycle respectively. We have to plan and we have to review so we know where we are, how we got there, and how we can do better. Now it was time to go forth and walk the path to reap the greatest benefits.